Hey, what is going on guys, Jock here and welcome to AFA Wi-Fi Season 1 semi-finals against Ban, or Pink Memes or whatever shit he goes by now. This is the semi-final battle and so it's a really big one. So the team we've brought against Dan, as you can see, is Thunderous T, Alolan Persian, Volcarona, Mandibuzz, Zygarde and Cobalion. Dan's brought his Galvantula, Tangrowth, Regirock, Cloyster, Crocodile and Magearna. So going through the spreads quickly, we have an Agility 3 attack Thunderous with Yachi Berry, just a bulky, speedy, taunt, toxic, Parting Shot Persian with Foul Play. We've got a Spadef Volcarona to take on Magearna with Quiver Dance, 2 attacks and Roost. We've got a physically defensive Rocky Helmet, Mandibuzz. It was mainly here to take on Darmanitan, but Darmanitan didn't come. We have a Choice Band with 3 attacks and Toxic Zygarde and a Scarf Cobalion. So we'll come into this game and the first thing I realised was I probably wouldn't click rocks once this time because of how important it was to keep rocks off my side of the field and how easy Regirock could get rocks up every time Volcarona comes in. So I knew I was never really going to press rocks because I'd want to defog as much as possible. And looking at this, I knew that obviously Cloyster's a massive threat. Cloyster's nuts all over my team. Just completely could just destroy me if I let it get set up. Magearna's obviously a massive threat to every team. Tangrowth's just an issue to break. Regirock's not too big of a deal. Galvantula looks like a suicide lead and I'll probably be able to get a defog off. And Crocodile's not the greatest because I feel like it'll be Scarf looking at his team and I have like 2 flying type and a really good answer in Persian, so we should be okay from that. So just getting into the battle here, I lead off with Thunderous because I knew that it would be a Galvantula lead, and with the Yachi Berry there's nothing Galvantula can really do to hurt our Thunderous, so you're being challenged by Pokemon Trainer Dan. So we send out the Thunderous here and we got it right. He does send out the Thunder Spood, which is his Galvantula. So here I knew Sludge Wave did a minimum of 50% and it could go up to about 70%, so I knew I would get the easy 2-hit KO on this as he set up the Sludge Wave. It has set up the Sticky Web, and even though I knew I'd probably have to let my Yachi Berry get popped, I was fine with that. And it looks like we got a really high roll, but it didn't matter as it 2-hit KO'd anyway. And here we just eat up the Yachi Berry and take this Hidden Power Rice really well. So we get off to a pretty good start, getting rid of the Galvantula pretty early. So I was feeling good here because I knew, like, the minute Crocodile comes in there's a chance I can get a defog off, or maybe if Regirock comes in. But he sends out Crocodile here, so I knew there was a possibility of a Stone Edge, so I switch into my Persian because there's no point in switching Cobalion in just in case the Earthquakes, but I didn't expect him to do it. But here we send in our Persian, which just takes anything this wants to throw at us, and he does the Earthquake. So at this point in time I realised Dan's not messing about, he's slapping his bollocks on the tables, he wants the win. So this isn't just a battle for a place in the final anymore, this is a who has the biggest bollocks contest. So he switches out just as we Parting Shot out of here, because I knew Magearna could come in and we never want to give Magearna a free switching because something pretty much dies, especially with webs up. So I can go Parting Shot into Volcarona here, and we don't want to mess about with this because it's just fucking Magearna. It's busted. Why this Pokemon's allowed in leagues is beyond me. I don't think I've ever seen it do bad in a league. And so I knew he was going to go Regirock, but I had to Fiery Dance just in case, and it also let me scout the sort of Regirock set, and we Fiery Dance and this does about 10-15%, which shows to me that this is a max Spadef, probably like, well, it is 252 with like the careful nature. So I know I can go hard Mandibuzz because even if he Stone Edges, we lived 2 of them, but it was more likely that he was going to Stealth Rock, and this will let me get a defog off. And Regirock with not having any attack, even a Stone Edge is doing about 40% to Mandibuzz, so I wasn't scared of it at all, so I can just defog away, and that means Sticky Webs are gone for good, which is good. So really Galvantula only was here to get 25% on my Thunderous, and that's all it really done. But sadly this means our Mandibuzz gets Toxic, which is obviously annoying because Mandibuzz is very difficult for him to kill. Outside of like Magearna, he can't really deal with it too well, so at this point I can just U-turn out. Well, he withdraws his Regirock, knowing that there's probably not much he can do here, and he thought he would get a free setup with Cloyster, but I'm able to just U-turn and break its sash if it has one, and it also means that it can't set up. Like, that was the aim of this game, was to never give Magearna. I had to part and shot or U-turn if I thought Magearna or Cloyster was going to come in, because if they got a free setup, the game could be over. So I bring in my Cobalion, which he knows that a close combat will take him out, so he goes Tangrowth, and I could have predicted this and maybe like switched out, but Volcarona. But again, as I said, like, these Pokemon are such big threats that I can't really play around them. So we just close combat and see that this is, I think this is a sort of death Tangrowth, because it took a big chunk, and I go hard into my Thundurus here, thinking, you know, probably gonna Leech Seed or something like that, and he Rock Slides. So at this point, Dan is just slapping his bollocks all over us, showing that he's the man in charge. He's the big man at this point in time. So to show him that my bollocks are double as big as his bollocks, we click Focus Blast on the incoming Crocodile, and that puts us 6-4 up as we land a Focus Blast like a nut all over his chest, and that's Crocodile dead. So we come out of that one on top. We did lose quite a lot of HP on our Thundurus, and because he brings the Magearna in, I knew I had to just Thunderbolt. It was going to do about 45-50%, and again, Magearna can't let it set up, because this Pokemon is stupid. It will run through my team if it sets up. So we have to sack our Thundurus, but we do get good damage off, because that means if it's like AV, we guarantee kill it with Volcarona. If it's Shuca Berry, we guarantee kill it with Zygarde. So that Thunderbolt damage was actually quite important to make sure like no berries or Assault Vest could stop it threatening Volcarona. And I just play safe again here, because I knew at this point in time pretty much his entire team apart from Regirock was in position to be swept by +1 Volcarona. So anytime Volcarona came in, I was just Fiery Dancing, because I couldn't risk it. If I lost my Volcarona, I wouldn't say I'd lose the game, but it was my biggest win con down. So and that 10-15% chip on Regirock was quite nice to get in range of a +1 Bug Buzz. And here he's Stone Edges on the switch to Mandibuzz, which it's not the biggest, because obviously it wouldn't even get close to 2-hit KO on Mandibuzz, but it would have made the game play out differently, because I couldn't U-turn here. I probably would have had to Roost. So I U-turn, and assuming that he's just going to go for either a Stealth Rock or Stone Edge, we go into Persian, because, well, Persian's fat and just doesn't die. And he Ice Punches expecting Zygarde, which again, it's a pretty good play. Dan's slapping his bollocks all over the place, but this one didn't pay off, thankfully. So we were able just to taunt here, because I knew he'd try and get a Stealth Rock up, because Foul Play would have done about 20-25%, and that's not a big threat. So he can't use the Stealth Rock, so we just fire off a Toxic, because it was a bit silly, but he could have gone Magearna, but I still would have got the Parting Shot on it, because webs were away now, so it wasn't too much of an issue. But we get a Toxic on Tangrowth, which is fantastic, because with Toxic damage, it doesn't, like, I'm pretty sure Zygarde can 2-hit KO it with a little bit of chip, so the Toxic really helps with that little bit of chip with the Choice Banded Outrage. So here I Foul Play, because I Foul Play, just trying to chip this down. I wanted to see what Tangrowth could do to me, and I kind of wanted to get into my Mago Berry, so I was kind of going to stay in here until I got into my Mago Berry, but I realised Hidden Power was actually doing quite a chunk. And the fact that the Toxic was racking up, a Foul Play plus Toxic would have put him way under 50%, so I expected him just to switch out here, but he didn't want to give me momentum, which, that's fair enough. So we Parting Shot, and I was expecting him just to Hidden Power Ice again, because that was probably what was doing most to Persian. But we go to Mandibuzz anyway, because, well, Mandibuzz is fat and Tangrowth can't hit very hard, but he Rock Slides again, so that's a good play. Not sure really what he was expecting. I thought Hidden Power Ice would be a fair enough play, because it would have still done a chunk to Mandibuzz, but here Tangrowth's taken so much damage from this, like this will put him to about 25%, so like I knew there was no way he was going to stay in, so we can just fire off another U-turn. And I think this is where the hitting the Stone Edge might have come into play, because at this point Mandibuzz is still way above 50%, where it would have been at about 20% maybe if he'd hit that Stone Edge. But we U-turn, get a crit, it doesn't matter, it turns about 2% into about 3% damage, and we get to go Volcarona. And again, we just Fiery Dance, because Magearna is such a big threat, and we need to get Regirock closer to being in +1 Bug Buzz range, because Bug Buzz would have done so little to Magearna that, like, I just was not a fan of risking it because I knew Volcarona was my win con and I was playing the game for the end game here. So at this point I can see that Regirock is just above 50%, so one more Fiery Dance guaranteed would put him in range of a +1 Bug Buzz. So that's the plan, one more Fiery Dance, and the next time we get Volcarona against Magearna we can click the Quiver Dance button. But he sets a Stealth Rock here as we go into Persian, which was kind of annoyed. I was hoping he would so nice and we'd be able to taunt him from doing that, but he gets the Stealth Rock up because he realises Volcarona is becoming a threat. And here I Parting Shot on the incoming Magearna, and that lets me bring in my Zygarde here. I couldn't bring Volcarona in because I couldn't let that thing get weak, and even though Volcarona was my primary answer to this, Zygarde wasn't doing too much, so I thought I'd give it a little run out. And at this point I contemplated for so long about just clicking Outrage, because even though he probably would have just sacked his tank or sacked something then gone Magearna as I was still outraging, I felt like sacking Zygarde for getting a massive chunk on Tangrowth was a good idea, but I pussied out, you know, big puss. But with 1000 arrows here, and it still does a chunk to Tangrowth because this isn't a fully physically defensive Tangrowth, and Zygarde's pretty strong with a Choice Band, and after the toxic damage he is looking a bit worse for wear, down near 50%, so we can just go hard into, I think I go Mandibuzz here so that I can get a defog off. Yeah, because I knew that no matter what I'd probably have to sack my Mandibuzz at this point in time, but it done nothing apart from get Stealth Rocks off, and I knew, well, I just have to sort of play a bit smarter around Regirock, maybe making some doubles or whatnot to stop the Stealth Rock coming up. But at this point in time I know Mandibuzz is faster than Tangrowth unless he's like max speed Tangrowth, so even though we're going to die to the poison, but actually a lot better because he goes Cloyster on knowing that I'm going to defog, and basically if I hadn't died from poison he would have got a Shell Smash off on my Mandibuzz and it wouldn't have done much, and it possibly would have been game over if he would have to crit the Hydro Pump, but luckily enough we died to the poison and we popped his White Herb with the defog, so we found out it was White Herb. But I can just go into Cobalion here knowing that that's going to completely scare him out because Cloyster can't take a close combat at this point. So he goes hard Tangrowth, which has been the bane of my existence this game. Tangrowth is probably taking enough damage to die like twice over, but it's Tangrowth, it just doesn't die. But as you can see this is doing a big chunk, probably about 20%, 30%. And after the poison he drops below 50 again. So at this point we can go hard. I assumed he was just going to Earthquake, but I knew Hidden Power Ice would put me into Mago Berry range anyway, so that was just the plan, was to get Persian into Mago Berry so that it was a better response to some of his Pokemon, because at 51 it was looking a bit risky, but the Earthquake puts us down to 24%, which is yum yum yum. Eat up the Mago Berry and we fire ourselves way back above 50%, and as I can't kill Tangrowth, he's really struggling to kill Persian at this point in time, which that's probably causing him some issues. So I knew he was going to switch out. There's no way he wouldn't switch out. It was so weak that Tangrowth was almost looking like it could have died to Toxic if he stayed in, so we just Parting Shot, do what Persian does. Persian and Mandibuzz are fantastic this season, just U-turning and Parting Shot and foul playing and being stolly bastards. But we go hard Volcarona here, and there was a little bit of me that was willing to just double Bug Buzz to get rid of Regirock, but I knew if I could get a Fiery Dance +1, which 50%, I won the game. So we Fiery Dance here, and if we get the +1 we win the game, and if not we have to do it all over again and just Quiver Dance next time he's in. But we get the +1, which basically means it's game over, even though it's still 4-4. As you can see, Volcarona outspeeds Regirock and takes it out with the +1 Bug Buzz, and at this point I think he's panicking a little bit. He goes Tangrowth in the hope that maybe it can live a hit, because it's, you know, it's up to 75%. I think it's got an Assault Vest, but we just click Fiery Dance and Night Tangrowth. No chance it was living that. So Volcarona picked up a second kill. It gets the +2. A bit of fun sweeping down with the Mon that carried him from Showdown last season. And he goes into Iron Lady, the Magearna, and it's so satisfying killing Magearna because this Pokemon is just, it's so busted. Like, why is that loud and lean? So killing it is just satisfying. And it dropped And all that's left is Cloyster, Dan's two favourite setup sweepers on the field, and we get to show him that Volcarona is just better than Cloyster, and nuts all over Cloyster. Fuck Cloyster. And it's dead to Volcarona dancing. So it was a great game to Dan. We now face D-Pad in the final, which is going to be a tough one because he beat us in the regular season, but it was a really good game to Dan, even though the scoreline 4-0 makes it look like a little bit of a blowout. It was nowhere near as much of a blowout as it looks like. That game was so close. Like, he got Stealth Rocks up one more time maybe. If I never got that +1 with Fiery Dance, it could have been a different story, but we got the +1 at the right time. We made the plays we had to play. The Focus Blast with Thunderous was obviously a game changer. Persian just being a Dawn, game changer. So it was a really good battle, and no matter what happens in the final, I'm quite happy with the season. So that's just, thanks for a great battle, Dan.